Hello everybody. My name is Benjamin Gotch and welcome back to playing Kerbal Space Program with Kerbalism. It's mostly stocks playthrough. This is kind of a new setup that I've done, but it's a little more. So let's take a look at some of the missions that I've got already set up. I did a little bit of playing up to where I've got objects in orbit around the Mun and a couple other achievements, but it's not too far in where things are where you're going to be missing a whole lot. So I feel like this is a good place to jump in and get started. We haven't launched any crew yet. Our first goal for anything crewed is going to be launching with a Kerbal. We want to break the sound barrier. We need to do a flyby of Minmus with an uncrewed vehicle. We need a polar satellite. We need to gather results from Kerbin's waters. We need to position a satellite in chaosynchronous orbit around Kerbin and reach a orbit and return. So, and this is our tech tree at the moment. Again, not all that much done. We still have loads here to do and loads up here to do. I'm not even sure how much is here. So, let's... our first goal today, I think, is going to be breaking the sound barrier. Actually, let's see here. I think our first goal will be the polar satellite here. No, I want to do that one when I get the scan set technology that I've got. First big goal is going to be a flyby of Minmus. We're going to do an uncrewed flyby of Minmus. I've already got a rocket prepared for that. Let me just get that up. It's called the Mun Impact Probe, or the Moon Impact Probe. A little bit of editing. A little bit of editing on this, and we should be good to go. So, this is the probe that we're going to be launching first. Let's add some scientific experiments to this, just to make sure that we have stuff to do once we get to Minmus. These are going to be the scientific experiments. We've got the Geiger counter and the 2-hot thermometer. We should be pretty good on solar panels and stuff, but I think one thing that I want to do, I don't like putting them on the outside here where they're not shielded, but at this point we don't really have much of a choice. We need something that's kind of angled so that way I just gotta hope that we don't end up somewhere. And let's think about what else we could put on this thing. Alright, that's good. So once again with this one, I am going to be using the Space Corps Kerbal operating system. They have a it's a small pack of Kerbal operating system scripts. Small pack of Kerbal operating system scripts that are very useful for both launching things into space and getting around. I have been using this. I have impacted the Mun. I've gotten into orbit around the Mun, and I use these scripts to kind of command my uncrewed vehicles. Yeah, so we'll use the science that we gather from this to try and get some more aviation related things, so that way we can break the sound barrier, and we'll move on from there. Anyway, let's get started. We're going to start by opening up KOS here. I do want to write my own scripts, but I'm having a bit of a problem with that, being that I am not I simply am not sorry, I'm just trying to Pug liquid fuel engine, which in comparison is only going to give us 24, 25 kilonewtons of thrust. I think it'll get up to 25 as we get higher into the atmosphere, or maybe it won't. Maybe this. Nope, it got up there. So that is what we're going to be using. We'll then ditch the aerodynamic shell fairing on top of this, and we'll get it all done from there. This thing has loads of fuel up in this upper stage. I think this will be an upper stage configuration that we use rather consistently because it's versatile, very versatile. It carries a lot of fuel, it's very lightweight. These kind of experiments are the only ones that we're really going to be shipping around anywhere. I do still have the barometric pressure sensor, but it is not useful in space flight because kind of the definition of space flight is no air. So the barometric pressure sensor doesn't really have anything to do. So if you're down here in the chat, I'd love for you to just let me know what you're thinking. What you think of the terrible design of the rocket and my blatant stealing of KOS, the Space Corps script that is available on SpaceDock. Actually, it's available for free on SpaceDock. I'm trying to do my best with this. I will. If you guys want to look at that script, I'll provide a link for it in the description of every video that I make, because I like to source where my code came from. Oh yeah, we're gonna get a periapsis before we even hit the highest altitude. Get our apoapsis up there. There he is. This is what I really like about this script. First off, the one thing that I really like about it is it allows me to kind of set my. It allows me to set up my. Let's actually get that deployed so we can get. No, give me that. Extend that antenna. I gotta say, I am saddened by the fact that KSP will not be updating anymore, because Restock really is a required mod, and Restock Plus is also a required mod for me. It is gorgeous. Also, Waterfall. Waterfall is very much a required mod. What do you all think about that mod? Okay. I'm going to set Minmus as a target. Descending node is right here. So I'll show you one of my favorite features of this. Okay, so we're at 6.0. Oh, hold on. We're at our descending node. Forgot about that. Give me that. Give me that. Anyway. 0.0. Alright. We're going to run path 0:/exe node.ks. Okay. I'm gonna wait one moment. I gotta get my stream shared on a couple of servers in a couple of different locations. Where are they? Okay. Where is that thing go? It was over here. There we go. Strange. Okay, let me see here. Is there a stream announcement one on this one as well? No, I think that's good enough though. Okay. Shared the stream out. Alright, so anyway. Next what we're going to do. Time warp up to our, and then finally, okay. About 50 seconds away from starting that burn. We get a little bit of drift on that. That's okay. It'll all work out. Only 15-second burn time, about 200 meters a second. I could probably burn out to minimus crossing orbit kind of thing. But I'm lazy and I do this every time, and I don't plan this stuff out too far ahead of when I stream it. So could I do that, and would it work better? Yeah, I could have, and it would have. But am I going to do that? No. This is about learning, a learned experience. We will all be learned people by the end of this, as we learn what works and what doesn't. But this appears to be working just fine. I like this program that Space Corps has built here. It does a full burn there, and then does a little bit, spends a little extra time doing a minimum burn, and then bam. See how that did. Set as target 0.1. Yeah, that's good enough. Okay. Now let's go out. Let's go to Minmus. Focus view here. Nice, that worked. Okay. Scroll that all the way down. Bam, 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 bam. That seems a little close. I mean, we could do an impact mission, but I don't really want to. Run path 0:/exenode.ks. Gotta make sure, because I have typed in launch.ks because I type it in so frequently. Anyway, I type it in way too frequently. Ready? Alright, I've told the computer where to burn at. Now it's lining itself up. I don't know why it does a little overcorrection there and then gently moves itself in, but that's what it does. Either way, works really well. That's a nice picture. Let's get that out of the frame. Click. There we go. That's a nice picture. That'll look nice. The new thumbnail for the next stream or my next video, whatever comes last. Good burn. Loads of delta V remaining. We've got margins for error. I don't know why the RCS is still on. I don't need RCS on. Put the little engine in there. This is this part comes from Restock Plus. Restock Plus is great because it works really well with these kind of with a lot of these smaller with these uncrewed before crewed kind of playthroughs of KSP, because it's got these smaller engines here and the Valiant and stuff like that, and I really like the design. Also, waterfall, beautiful job on the plumes. Honestly, I don't think I've had much better. I don't think I've ever had a better plume look on my rockets before, and it's really nice to have these. Okay, bit of an overburn there, but what we're going to do is we're actually going to get into the sphere of influence of Minmus, because I've had it happen where despite it being like this, sometimes it misses when I put a it'll over time warp when I try and warp to the maneuver when it's something like this. So I'm just gonna get into the influence of Minmus, and that'll get that first mission out of the hold on a minute. Why did that happen? Okay. Let's see if it still connects, because it should be there. Oh, okay. Yeah, I did not like that. That was no good. 60,000 extra dollar dues. Gets us up to 200,000. Let's now get that radiation scan going. Get that temperature scan going. And get the telemetry report going. I should probably at some point upgrade this thing, but yeah. Okay, let's secondly add a maneuver. So let me think here. This thing is orbiting this way, and that'll be, yeah, we're going to be going retrograde on this one. So I want to orbit prograde just to make things a little easier on me. Let's get a 10-kilometer eye. There we go. That's good. Run path 0:/exe node.ks. Feel my finger going towards the L. Don't like it. Okay. Here we go. Coming in. All right, we're getting scientific data from Minmus. Nice. If we're gonna cross over that way, it's going to be a rough game. Okay. Minmus once again gathered our first scientific results. Let's see what we got there. 49 science. That's enough to get us. I say we get a little more. I think if we play our cards right, we could get a landing with this thing. A landing is technically an impact, so it'll count. It's just an impact that's much softer than it's a soft impact. But if we can get a landing with this thing, it'll really help. And I'm tired of these fireworks. Oh man, I got opinions on fireworks. Someone talk to me about fireworks in the chat, please. Let's see how that burn did. 10-5-3. Ooh, that's pretty good. Okay. Add a maneuver right here. Bring ourselves. There we go. Type in the code first. 0:/ execute node.ks. Okay. Coming in, we got our telemetry report. And the one thing I want to make sure we end up having is I want to make sure we end up being able to this is a nice view. It's always such a nice view. Kerbal Space Program, even stock, like the stock, I think one of the things that really got me into Kerbal Space Program were the visuals. Even when they were when they were really, really simple, like the original Kerbal Space Program, I've always been sort of put in awe of being of seeing some of these planetary bodies from high space, from high orbit, from orbit, anywhere. It's always very nice. And some of these mods that we come out now, that we have had for a long time now. Are we gonna execute this node? Oh, snap. We're running out of time here. There we go. Come on, get it. Fire the node. Fire. Did we do it too late? No. Okay. We're still good. A little late on that one. That was on me. How many more ignitions does this engine have? Ooh, that late burn there. We have 14 ignitions remaining. We got loads of time. Let's see. Ooh, the damage not too bad. It's not bad. Let's come around for a couple of orbits here. More science. We have got entered orbit. 8 more science. Let's get all the science we can. We need one more experiment to finish. Telemetry report. I think we've pretty much got everything. So now we need to plan our landing. So what we're going to do, I want to land on the daylight side. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to move that periapsis to a point where it's going to be... We're going to have to move the periapsis so that way it is a little on the daylight side. We've got plenty of delta V to make a maneuver like that. So we want it on the daylight side. We want it on the side that faces. So first thing we're going to do. Nope, we need to go that way. Nope. There we go. Pretty much the same orbit that we were in. Nope, that's launched. See, I do this every single time. node.ks. And I kind of like to do it every time, every single time. Oh, I need to execute. Okay, we are executing the node. We just ran out of contact, but we got that thing transmitted just in time. That was close. That was really close. I'm still locked in here, so there's going to be an M in that once we get out of that. Oh man, that was close. There's ways to fix it, but okay. Jeez, this is taking a long time. We're just gonna go a little faster here. Get ourselves out to about 15 seconds from the maneuver. Oh, we passed it. Okay. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. That was... Yeah, that's good enough. That's good enough. Okay. So the next thing we need to do is get around here and send it run path 0:land.ks. I think it's land. I could check if I wanted to, but I don't want to, so no. Run path 0:/long landing.ks. Alright, it is running the landing program. Our first landing on another planetary body. So I don't know when it's going to decide to kick on the engine. I think it usually does this at periapsis. So we're going to wait for about 1 minute till periapsis, and then we'll cut off. So there's a good spot right here. I still want it to land in daylight, but this thing will really do whatever it wants. I think it does it at periapsis. See, that's why we had to move periapsis. We'll be landing, I don't know exactly where. Again, we're kind of guessing at this point. All good guesses. Should be an easy landing though, because Midmus is superly easy to land at. Honestly, it's a good bet that Midmus is a good place to really practice your landings, because you can land with even the really weak RCS things here, because this thing's gravity is like ridiculously weak. Okay. I really ended up with 2. Okay. Data's currently empty. Are we not going to burn? What's the plan? What are we doing here? It's a perfect opportunity for you to land. It's safe for you to land. Why are you not landing? Radar. Come on. Land. Just land. I just want you to land. Come on. Is this thing not igniting? We've got plenty of fuel for it. We only need to burn off 152 meters per second. Come on. Just do it. Just land. Come on. I don't know why you have RCS on. You don't need RCS on. You don't need it for this. Come on, just do it. Do it. Come on. Don't do this to me. Okay, so I'm going to zip on around one more time. Let's stop it right here. When are you planning on landing? Or are you planning on performing this maneuver? Come on. There's no time like the present. Okay. We're gonna have to do this manually. No time like the present. Make sure we land somewhere in the light. Wanted to do this with the program, but I guess we're not doing that today. So it'll end up somewhere in sunlight because Minimus rotates a lot quicker than Mun. It's a bigger issue if you do this on Mun. Planning it based off of the phases. It's really going to help, but I don't know how to do that. I mean, I could do that. I could look up how long it takes for we're just going to do some pulses here. Here we go. Here we go. Alright. I like the landing program that this thing does. It's a lot better than what I'm doing right now. There we go. Look at that. We are on the surface. Now beginning our scientific journey. So let's see here. Temperature scan complete. Radiation levels. Temperature scan transmitted. Telemetry points. Telemetry report transmitted. Yeah, we have enough that we could probably do this again. Let's go towards 270. Give ourselves a quick kick. Let's go about 100 meters a second. How fast are we? Oh good, it's doing this. This is fun. It'll do this sometimes, where it thinks we're moving over terrain. Oh wait, we're getting another radiation scan? We're getting other things too? Okay, we've got to get ourselves on the surface, so one of these flats should do the trick for it. How much electric charge we got? We need to get into sunlight though too. We got to eyeball this, which is not fun. I don't like doing that. Because this thing glitched out and now it thinks I'm on the surface. We're getting power back. Why are we getting new telemetry reports? Okay. Are we over some flats? We're almost. Just a little further here. Well, that is not ideal. No backups on that thing. Okay. Try and get to the space. Nope, we can't. We are literally 3 kilometers above the surface. Falling now. Can't get. Got no data. Got nothing. Engine's dead. It is just dead. Sure, technically we could fix it. Is this going to count as an impact too? Because maybe that'll solve other problems. Either way, we're about to find out. I'm not liking the shaky cam. As we come in really hot, this is like an... Nope, nothing about an impactor. Guess you can't technically call it an impactor if it came from the same planet. But, that's a good first goal. Complete. Well, kind of. We did multiple parts of that first goal. Just get 2 Minmus. And we did. And we got a load of science out of it. Let's see what we got. Let's see the haul. We got... You're just gonna make me wait. Yep, here we go. More fireworks. Loving it. We have 138 science. So let's first start with more options for these. Minmus exploration. Impact. We can do that. That'll be an easy one. Then we'll come in here and get some science. So let's start with aviation. Like we said, we want to get these so that way we can break the sound barrier with a crew member. These will help in that goal. This will be nice. We have enough for 2 more, so this will be really nice. So it'll give us some more parts, struts. So that's what I'll get. That's 5. Don't. Could get enhanced survivability, which will allow us to get the simple command pods, which give us our favorite command pods, because I am not going to be using these. Mainly because these are the ones that are going to have my IVA mods. So this will be nice to get that. Or we could get this, which will get us more science experiments, plus an external radio mount camera for other things. What else came with that? What else came with this? Did this come with? No, this one comes with that. So we need to get that. That I need to get. Gizmos. Extendable solar panels. More science, including the ScanSat parts. You know what? Let's go with extendable solar panels for right now. And then let's see here. What else? Our next goal should be breaking the sound barrier. And then we'll also do this one. Reach orbit and return uncrewed. And we'll gather some. We'll use the mystery goo to gather some high space data and then we'll come back with that. Because I've already used the mystery goo to gather low space data. So high space data with the mystery goo, and come back. Now, there's been a glitch with... I don't know if we're going to break the sound barrier. Let's do it right. Let's make sure we got good. This thing's only job is going to be to break the sound barrier. It's not going to carry any science. It's just going to be here to kick us past the sound barrier. And we'll be good. So let's do 2 of these. And these. Could do a swept wing. Do like me some swept wings. That sounded nice. And then we can add this one. I like this Elegant right here. Okay, that looks pretty good. Honestly, this is probably the least interesting part of this entire stream, is me building the airplane that we will use to break the sound barrier. That doesn't look good. That looks like it's going to tail strike. So let's just add a pair of small hard points. Here. Because I need these, I would like to keep them. I'm going to do that. Okay. Now, to look up the name of the fastest, what's the fastest bird in the world? So we're kind of doing a this one's going to be called the Peregrine. This is a supersonic search aircraft. Sad thing is we lost Jeb a while ago, so this is what we have to deal with. And there's a glitch with my version of the asset mod, asset props, that one of the IVAs specifically for this craft, where the heads-up display thing is kind of all black, so I kind of got to deal with that as a thing. But once we do this, this should have us get some money and support our research in our goals to get more oh no, don't do that. Okay, one thing I gotta remember, it's not a fighter plane, so we don't need the center of mass and the center of lift to be so close together. I'd like them close together because it makes them more stable and a little more maneuverable. But I could keep the center of lift a little further aft to the center of mass in order to make it so that way it doesn't tip. back like that. So we're gonna go back into the spaceplane hangar, edit this a little bit. And I think we might be able to achieve suborbital flight with a crew with a spaceplane. I don't know if that's a good idea. But if that's something y'all want me to try, absolutely, I will try it. So let's push this back just a little bit, so that way this is going to fly really, really unstable for a minute. I could put that. Let's push this back just a little bit too. That'll work there. Peregrine is ready to take off. Let's add. We want Val to be able to communicate with us. We want that there. Let's hope that she has enough survival material to make it through this flight. We'll be taking the pilot seat right here. Okay. So I've never actually used this configuration for flying it before, for an aircraft before. I know it's super simple, and these super thin wings might work really well for this. And yeah, it'll work. It'll definitely work. Okay. Do have my throttle, the stick. All of that's ready. So yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's all blacked out. So that's bothersome, but this is now working. So anyway, turning that on. Grabbing the engine. Throttling on up. We need to reach 343 meters per second. Yeah, we're up. Okay. Off the deck. Still accelerating at a 10-degree climb. Ooh, that roll. Really like this one, so I should probably have ours. 270, 280, 290, 300, a little more. 310, 324, 330, 341, 2, 3. That should be it. But that was the goal, wasn't it? Oh, we gotta return home safely. Okay. We've completed that goal. Let's break the sound barrier all the way over to the island. Okay. Okay, we're unstable here. Not liking that. Not liking that at all. Okay, oh, we're already past. Let's throttle back to 50%. Hope this thing stays stable. Subsonic. Not liking the odds of that though. We get a little 200 meters a second landing. Let's throttle back to a quarter. Both hands on the stick. Struggling. My choices have island runway in sight. We are going to approach Okay, we are not going to be going for the island runway. In fact, we are going to ditch in the ocean because I am not going to try and land this thing because it will not pitch up anymore. I have full pitch. Yep, it was nice knowing you, Val. What's left? What's left of it? Oh, we just left. Okay, okay. That counts, I guess. Let's get a crew. No, we don't need a crew. Okay. Val, you are lucky. How much? You got 140 electric charge. Loads of money. Good amount of fluid. Shielding. Good. Okay. That was not planned. Never flying this thing again. I'm glad the air intake ate most of our impact there. We can recover it. We're just east of the island runway, so recovery must have been real easy. That's good. Did a good job there. Terrible flight. Completed the mission, technically. I'd like to have landed on a runway, but never using that plane again. So, technically counts. And it got us a whole whopping... So, what can we get now? Tourism? IG adventure? No, we're not doing tourism on this playthrough. 250,000 by 215. Inclination 180 degrees. So it wants us in a retrograde orbit of the Mun. I think we can achieve that. That's an easy one. Oh, yeah, we can use that. So anyway, next up, let's design the payload for our orbital science return vehicle. Like this one, this is the best probe body. At the top of it, we will add Mark 16 parachute. Actually, you know what? I'm going to add. Do I have? No, I don't have any heat shields. So this is going to have to be. I'm going to add mystery goo, science parachute. Electrical charge. For those. It's okay, bud. Wally's scared. Oh, he needs a hug. This is Wally. He's my co-pilot. I love him very much. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. Everyone say hi to Wally. He's a good boy. Yes, he is. Oh, so good. Oh, so good. Yes. I hate fireworks so much. Okay. Yeah, you're a good boy. He's a little shaky right now. He's never liked fireworks. Let's add some navigation lights. Let's have some fun with it. It's okay, bud. It's okay. It's okay. I love you. You are loved. You are cared for. He is cared for. He is cared for very well. Because she is very loved. Okay. So, got the experiment. We've got that. We've got the way to recover it. Let us add our core computer. Our guidance system. Computer? What the hell was that? What the? Is this what you listen to when I'm not here? I don't mean to get political, but Jeff's trying to make me political. Ooh, yeah, we got the 1.25, so we no longer really need... Okay, so this is going to be the part that's going to return. Hopefully. Probably not. What's the best solution for that? We're going to have... Wally, what should we do? That is right. That is a good idea. He says... I forgot what he said. Anyway. Oh, we have wheels? We could do rover science now. If you can hear the fireworks going off in the background, let me know. Anyway, we got the computer, we got all that. This is what we want to return. Okay. So because of that, let's add the 1 meter, add the aeroshell over this. Bam. Good to go. Then we add the engine, which we'll use the Pug. Despite its failures on Minmus, that was after multiple ignitions, and that was secondary. So it's still on a good track record. That is frustrating. We do need some kind of communication. We're just going to use a couple of these. We're going to have those on the exterior here. So this one here, that there. Just need it to get into orbit, stay in orbit long enough to come up and come back down. And you know what? We're going to keep this Aerostream protector on there. So if there's a way that I can... No. Oh, here we go. Fairing station. Bam! Look at that. Actually, we can't do that because... So we'll have it fly in like that, and then... So we'll have it fly in like this with the fairing, and then when it reaches a safe deployable altitude, we'll deploy the fairing and the parachute at the same time in order to get rid of that thing. So we can protect the valuable science. We can still gather the science because it'll be... Throw that on there for some style points. Let's see now. We get the Valiant engine there. So that means man, look at that. I am the best rocket scientist. There we go. Look at that. Okay. Let's add some rock. Let's add some fins. Fins are good for style. Look at that. It's okay, buddy. It's okay. He's scared. He's very, very scared. He's very scared. He's very scared. Okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Look at this guy. He doesn't like fireworks. I don't like fireworks either. He's just a little guy. He's just a little guy. Yes, he is. Oh, he's just little. Feel sorry for him. Don't shoot off fireworks. Because I am sick and tired of that. So I shoot off model rockets for fun. Just for fun, you know. I build and design model rockets. And here, let me just show you something. Well, you're gonna sit on the bed right there, okay? I'll be right back. Okay, I'm right here still. So, these are rockets that I've designed and built myself. This one is one of my favorites. It's called the Lunar Probe. It's got this little cool little engine nozzle thing right there. It's a 2-stage rocket. Connects itself like this. Very, very nice. I like this, the way that my fins kind of go in together like this. Very nice. So anyway, my big problem is the fact that I've got to go and find really wide open fields with which to launch my rockets at, and have to do all of these safety preparations. And these are all like, they're not really required, but you're going to get in trouble with rocketry organizations if you're not performing these sort of safety checks on everything. So, you know, it's very important that you do that if you take this hobby very seriously. So I had to go out and I had to do a lot of these safety checks, make sure that the grass isn't too dry, make sure that there's no power lines nearby, there's no like trees, no dead leaves. I'm not shooting off into airplanes or nothing. Anyway, my big problem is the fact that you can just buy fireworks and then shoot them off out your backyard. Like that's not a problem at all. That's not dangerous. That's not. And I get that my rockets only, like, the fireworks only come out once a year. Planes won't be really taking off around this time this year. No one near an airport is going to be dumb enough to shoot fireworks off. I hope no one near an airport is going to be dumb enough to do that. But it's still, like, fireworks themselves are cool. But if you, like, with model rockets being as, you could shoot them off any time of the year, there's certain requirements for the power and the size, the engines that you can get, and all these other restrictions involved with it. If you look at model rocket injuries and deaths compared to firework related injuries, I'm sure that there's a huge, actually I'm going to look it up. So the amount of people hospitalized due to model rocket related injuries. Go. I can't even find any data on that. Model rocket injuries. There's some PubMeds stuff. Yeah, I can't even find it, but careful, Wally, it's a whole ass rocket. Firework injury. Statistics 2019. 95 usually emergencies. How many people were hurt? Model rocket launches 2019. Let's do 2020. 2020 is the latest one, but it's probably way lower. Actually, let's do 2020. 2019. Hurt. Let's do 2019. That's when a lot of people were probably shooting off model rockets. Nothing. How many people were hurt from fireworks in 2019? 10,000 ER-related treatments for fireworks in 2019. That's a big number. Like I literally same search parameters. Only change is fireworks. So, like, I don't know. Maybe fireworks and people who shoot off fireworks should have more restrictions put on them the same way that model rockets do. Hell, model rockets are sometimes illegal in certain states and fireworks aren't, so I don't get it. That's my whole political rant on that one. It's okay, bud. Plus, Wally is scared of fireworks. This one is Curve in Orbit, Science Return. Curve in Orbit, Kozer. Curve in Orbit, Science Return. Now let's... Come on. Curve in Orbit. Let's call it Goo Return, because we're returning the goo. Okay. This thing 1.12. This thing lights off at 0.96. 2, but it should be enough to get it into orbit, get it back to the surface. So the Koger 1. Let's get ready. From launching ourselves all the way to Minmus, this seems kind of simple, but I think we'll be okay, because this will be a really good... This should be a really good rocket. Okay, so this time run path 0:/launch.ks 10 9 8 7 6 5 4 3 2 1 0. Ignition. Tower cleared. Cleared the flagpole. Still good to go. Ascent program engaged. Okay. I hate fireworks so much. I could talk all night about how much I hate them. Legitimately, I could talk all night about how much I hate fireworks. Only this time of year that we can get rid of this stuff. I hate it so much. So much. It freaks my dog out. It freaks out loud. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. No more fireworks. I'm about to write to my congressman. Okay, bit of a slowdown there, but immediately we're up at 109 thrust to weight ratio, so we are good to go. 1,500 meters a second of fuel remaining. It's a lot slower of a liftoff than our other rocket, our Minmus and that I've been designing. Let me just talk about my model rockets really fast. So if you look at some of my rockets here, like this one, I like this to do this sort of a white finish. This is kind of, I'm still working on doing this properly. The white finish, blue lettering or red lettering is some of my favorites, but kind of the black and white features. And then silver. The red here was kind of an experiment. Not sure if I'm a real fan of it. It worked out pretty well. I'm still working on getting the details on some of these what are called rotation. These parts right here on a rocket, they're kind of rotation markers. They help when you record the video of the rocket during launch. If you see those move, it helps you get a baseline so you can see if the rocket is rotating. I do it for style points because I think it looks really, really cool. But other people, like, it genuinely has some purpose. Genuinely has some purposes. And as I get into larger rocketry, I hope to eventually actually use those for that kind of purpose. Okay. But yeah. And then this one. This is actually a test. This is what I call a paperplate model. It's a play off of boilerplates. But this one, I'm trying to design space capsules to be used on model rockets, where I have a tiny little flight computer in here that'll have some data, something that could be useful for a flight, and kind of inspired by Joe Barnard's model rockets and his things. And I kind of wanted to have a separate flight computer located in the nose of the rocket. And this is a small model of the shape of the cone that I want to do, just to see how well it flies, and some ways that I can build paperplate models so I can test the idea for these. Didn't turn out as well as I'd like. It's kind of a little rough, but that's kind of the point. This rocket itself is also a design that I was kind of playing off of, where I would sell, where it would come with individual parts, like each part would be built separately. You glue it all together, you got the paper, you got your little capsule on top, your nose cone, all this stuff. And it also uses these kind of runners right here. They don't really serve much of a purpose. They're not there for aerodynamics. They're just there to kind of break out of the smooth shape of the rocket, even though I know that that's kind of the point of a rocket, is to have this incredibly smooth shape. I like to have the rocket be, I like to have these little pieces because they appear on stuff like the Saturn V and the space and the SLS and other things. These kind of runners that are running electrical cable, fuel lines, and other things along the body of a rocket in order to, help it provide fuel for things. I think that that's a really cool detail to add. It's kind of got a lot of different parts here that I'm using. I'm trying to get used to. I need to get better materials for it. I'd love to make videos about these as I build them, but I just don't have the equipment to actually start recording stuff like that. I've got a simple camera. I've got my phone that I can do that with, which is where I record most of my stuff on. But it's really, really difficult for me to set that stuff up so that way I can do that. I need to get better equipment, and yeah. But yeah, I've also got a couple other model rockets, but they're not really kits. They're kind of they're not really my own design. I want to focus on my own design on rockets, because I've been doing this for a long time. I've been designing rockets for a very long time now, and I'd like to get into higher powered rockets and stuff like that eventually. But it takes a while to get into stuff like that, because it's expensive. It's an expensive hobby to get into. I mean, parts and stuff like this. I kind of while this thing is launching. These things sort of start off with material like this, and then it'll eventually be turned into something like this. And this is the body tube size that I've been using for all of my rockets up until this point. But yeah, I love designing these rockets. But you start off with something like that, and I kind of get this idea. Like this idea right here, I went through a lot of phases to get this thing designed, and I've even got little bits of clay in the nose to make sure that it is stable in flight, and it flies really, really well. If you notice, it's got some damage to it. I've flown it quite a few times, and I need to fix it. I'm actually not going to fix this one. This one specifically, I'm going to replace, and this is going to be what I'm going to call a museum piece now. Anyway, yeah, so, you know, designing rockets, building rockets themselves is such a good hobby to have. I think it's a lot of fun. I've been doing it for a long time. These low power rockets specifically, they're really, really nice. They're good for, they're really good for like teaching kids about space and rocketry and stuff. And these are really fun to build. I love building the two-stage ones. Two-stage ones are my favorite because I love watching staging events happen, which is just, it never gets really old for me. It adds a complex nature to the design, especially with some of the things that I do with rockets. Hold on, I'm about to node.ks. You know, the complex nature of some of the things that, and I want to get more into things like getting into things like building with flight computers, building a flight computer and stuff like that. And that's a whole process in and itself that honestly people like Joe Barnard can attest are really complex and difficult to actually do. So, you know, if this is an interesting topic, I know that this is the most that I've probably talked throughout this entire thing about a single subject. I love model rocketry. Model rocketry, like amongst many other things, like a lot of facets of my life are very, very narrowly focused around space, exploration, astronauts, astronomy, all that stuff. And I love talking about it. I love discussing it. I don't really have a lot of people in my life right now that can really relate with this discussion, because it's very niche. It's not really, and it's not any of their fault. And it's not my fault either. Like nobody, it's really of nobody's fault that I'm like one of the only people in Nebraska that loves space this much, that has had these kind of goals. So I'm going to have this up so that way I can know when this thing decides that it is space high. So I can activate it. Oh, we're in space high. Start. Alright. Are we going to have enough power to get through this orbit? I think we will. Yeah, we will. Okay. So now what we're going to do right here, we're just going to aim for it. Q : / exe node.ks. Nope, that is not what I want to do at all. Hold on. Yeah. Anyway, model rocketry is such a fun. I'm gonna call it a sport. It's not really a sport. I mean, there are competitions involved with it, and you should absolutely look up drag racing. Like rocket drag racing is this concept where people take their high-powered rockets or low-powered rockets or any rocket really. They all get the same kind of engine, and what they do is they try and they set them up on the launch pad, and your job is to build it with the lightest materials possible, so that way you get off the pad and get up to altitude and speed the fastest. If you don't make it all the way up to altitude, it sucks. If you can't get off the pad, that sucks. That these sort of things happen in drag racing, and it's really interesting to see the way people, what happens when people go through with these sort of flights, and the very interesting ways that they save weight, and because they do need to have fins for guidance, because model rockets themselves, they're very top heavy. They're supposed to be very top heavy, but you got to have fins in the back to help guide it along. Otherwise, it's kind of just an unguided missile that's just going to flip around everywhere. And anyone who's experimented around with model rocketry, especially people who experimented with finless rockets, will know just how ridiculously dangerous a finless rocket is. So that's one thing that you got to worry about when you're designing these things is how is it going to fly? Is it going to be able to, so making your fins as small as possible so you're saving on as much material as you can, while also making sure your rocket is still stable enough to be able to get off the pad and accelerate quickly. Honestly, and then one thing that I did while I was did my aerodynamics, my aerodynamics just kicked me. Like, we just skipped. I did not plan that. I forgot that that's something that can happen. Holy crap. Anyway, like just designing as light of a rocket as possible that can get up and then be recovered from on the surface. That's one of those other requirements that's involved with drag racing, is being able to recover your rocket. I imagine that is one of the tougher parts of the challenge, is being able to recover your vehicle after a high speed launch. And coming with that, you have stuff like you deal with the fact that you need to have your drogue and your main parachute deploy on time, because at the altitudes that some of these things fly at, it gets crazy. But yeah, there's a lot of really interesting design and engineering problems that need to be solved that are involved with it. So it's really, really cool to see what you can and can't do with it. I think what we're just going to have to do is we're just going to have to launch it and try again. This time we're just going to come home straight from orbit, because I don't want to spend too much time on this mission. I've spent quite a bit of money just trying to get to Minmus. I've had about 3 different solid rocket motors fail. 3 of the same type of model rocket motor, solid rocket motors, model rocket motors. It's the same thing. It's actually the same materials that they use in the space shuttle solid rocket boosters, and now the Space Launch System solid rocket boosters, which is really, really cool. But in this save, I have had while preparing everything for your guys' viewing pleasure, I've had several engine failures. You know what we're going to do? We're going to... possible. given the chance to fly aboard the space shuttle today, knowing what I know now, I absolutely would do it, because the space shuttle is just an amazing piece of technology and space history that just, it doesn't get, it gets a lot of attention. It was at one point the incredible face of NASA, and when it shut down, I got a lot of people talking to me like, oh, did you hear that they shut NASA down? Even though, like, NASA is not the space shuttle, but that was all anyone ever really saw of NASA, was the space shuttle. And so when the space shuttle program was when the space shuttle was no longer flying, a lot of people took that as the space shuttle being canceled. So, and I guess as a space fan, that was one of the more frustrating parts of that whole period, was that just people who don't know what they're talking about trying to ask you about ridiculous things that, like, listening to people talk about space when you know a lot about space, it's got to be when they don't know a lot about space, it's got to be one of the most frustrating things to happen. Like, just any subject that you know a lot about and then someone else doesn't know a lot about, and they're going to try and lecture you on that subject, is just the worst experience to ever have done to you. I wouldn't. If hell exists, that's probably what it is some guy who read a Wikipedia article explaining a subject that you are either an expert in or deeply passionate about, to tell you his opinions on that subject for all eternity. That's probably what hell is. And so I've had a lot of experiences where I've just had a lot of, I don't want to say uneducated, just misinformed people just trying to have conversations with me about space and space exploration and space sciences. It's so hard to be respectful in those situations, because, oh man. These fireworks are getting worse. I'm hating it. Hating it. Oh man. Yeah, but yeah, like, space stuff is so cool. Space is so cool. Space and space flight is just, it's the coolest thing. And I am so happy right now to be living in a period of time where space exploration is really becoming just such a huge part of everyday life. Let's do one orbit. Never mind, we're going to do like 8 orbits, because we're going to be stuck. Okay, that's a good spot. No, it's execute node.ks. It's okay, bud. It's okay. He scratches when he gets nervous, and so he's scratching right now. I'm busy with something.
I'm just telling you I'm going to bed.
Okay, love you.
Love you. You work tomorrow at 12, right?
Yep.
Alright.
He scratches when he gets nervous, so. And the fireworks are really getting him freaked out. Come here, Walls. Wally. Come here. Come on. Yeah. It's okay. Oh, shit. Yeah, this is fine. We're not really aiming for nothing. We're just hoping to get back in. So. Just trying to get back in to the atmosphere. It's okay. It's okay. Come here. You can't go out. No, that's going to make it worse. Buddy. Buddy. That's going to make it worse. You know it's going to make it worse. You know it is. So if we're going to learn any lessons from the last flight, it was the fact that coming in like this was a bad idea because reasons. So we're not really learning any lessons from our last flight. We're just going to come straight in. And just hope that it turns out okay. It probably will. Okay. It stabilized itself in this position. This is a good position for it to stabilize itself in. We're going to lose the main engine. Nope, we're not. I mean, we're going to lose everything. Actually going to start flying. We're kind of flying right now. This is kind of fun. What's our altitude? 6,000, 5,000. Ditch it. That's not ditched. That thing's going to tear itself apart. It's clipped into the. It did. I don't know how that happened, but we're getting more back than we asked for. We're gonna. No. No, we are not. What is the info gonna be saying? It's just flying low. We're not really gonna get a whole lot of data out of this one, and if we really want more data, we'll just strap one of these onto a peregrine to get that data. I would really like it to not be clipped in there. Oh, that's gone. It's not clipped anymore though. We're going to get land, and look at that, contract complete. Just $7,500. I'm so glad we spent $10,000 dues to launch this mission to get 7,500 back. I'm so glad I took that time. Ugh. At least we know we can return from orbit. That was the point of the test. It wasn't to complete the mission. The mission was just extra. Our main goal was to return from orbit of Kerbin. Even though we kind of already did that. I did that earlier. I got all the way into orbit and I came back. But that's besides the point. We're not going to talk about that. We're going to take what we got, and we're going to move swiftly. Let's actually look at some more active ones. Polar satellites. Still want to do that. Equatorial orbit of geosynchronous orbit of Kerbin. We could probably still do those. I think geosynchronous orbit will be good. Let's look at crude milestones. Reach the upper atmosphere. I think that's something we can do. I think the next thing we want to do is I would like. You know what? Let's go. Let's go through active here. Geosynchronous orbit. Let's see how much we're gonna lose from that. Minus 50,000. We'll eat that. Impact Minmus. I really don't want to do that. Failure. 18,000. Year one. It doesn't expire though, so we're good. I mean, we still kind of no. We've already done that, so we're good. Don't need the money from it. Reach upper atmosphere crude. Polar satellite. Still want to keep that. I mean, You know what? No. I'll let them have their money back. Satellite in Mun equatorial orbit. Don't really need it. These are the 3 that we want to do. Let's check out if there's any more. So we can get base construction, build an outpost on the Mun. We need it to be able to support 5 Kerbals, have 5,000 units of electric charge, 1,000 units of why would we have monopropellant on our base? And maintain stability for 10 seconds. No. Not doing that. That's not going to be Minmus exploration. It still wants us to do... You know what? What's our reward for that? 18,000? No. 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 We'll accept it. Destination Minmus. Altitude terrain below 10 meters. That qualifies as an impact. Alright, whatever. Satellites, polar satellite. Oh, it still wants us to do that. Okay. You know what? We'll re-accept that one. Just cause. Let's look at some other ones. If we can get some other missions, so we can get manned orbit, crew in orbit for 30 days. I'd like to have a space station for that. Satellites, polar orbit of Kerbin. These are always ridiculous though. Part testing. Haul. We can haul the Cub. That needs to get up to 14,000 meters. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And we're not doing high G adventures. This is a serious science. Ooh, we've got the dart that we can reposition. Can we reposition it? I'm pretty sure. It keeps wanting us to put things in retrograde orbits. And super high polar orbits. Like, there is no reason we need to do this at this stage. Like, let's focus on science. We're focusing on the science that we need to accomplish to get our advanced flight controls and our simple command modules. We need the simple command modules. We want enhanced survivability for that, and we're going to get the simple command modules, and we want the basic science. Basic science is our next goal. No, enhanced you know what? Basic science is our next goal. We'll use basic science to get enhanced survivability, and then after that, we'll go and get simple command pods. Those are our goals for right now. So, in order to achieve those, I think it's time we landed on Mun. We've impacted the surface of Mun. We've landed on the surface of Minmus. We've tested the capabilities to land in these areas. I think to land on another planetary body, it's time to land to start the serious exploration of Mun. So, let's get started. So we're going to start with one of these. I'm going to throw this on top here. One of these here. Followed by one of these. And then 1x6 or 8. Now let's do a 3x2. Up on top here, 2 of them. Followed by 4 of these. 2 of these positioned up like that. Okay, and then let's also add one of these. We want loads of battery power, and let's give it some more data capacity. Let's get it full data capacity. Telemetry port, reliability. This thing comes with reaction wheels? Damn. Didn't know that. Okay. Next, the experiments we want to carry. Simple experiments only. First landing on the Mun is going to be some simple Geiger counters and a thermometer. We'll add some navigation lights just so that way if we ever come back to it, we'll be able to find it. And then I think that should do it for right now. So for this first lander, I think what we'll do, we'll take an Oscar B. That'll be too tall. I want this one. 4 of these here. That. And then we'll add 4 of these down here. Okay. Like that. There we are. And then, engine. Which engine are we going to use? What's our thrust to weight ratio going to be with this? 0.05. Probably not good enough. If we take this, put it there. Disable the shroud. That'll give us 1,000 meters per second. Give us a thrust to weight ratio of close to 1. It doesn't really need to be. I think if we got it up to like 0.4, 0.3, it'll be good for something to do with the MUN. But I think it'll be good to have that not be an issue, being that this is going to be our first exploration of MUN. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Make things just a little easier on myself. I'm just going to push these in just a little bit there. There we go. So we got nothing that I can really use on the surface. So anyway, get this airstream protector out. Bam. Bam. Look at that. Alright, so this is going to land us on the MUN. It's got more than enough fuel for that. We just need to really get it into orbit and get it to either, I think the most we really need to do with this is get it into like an orbit that crosses MUN. So in terms of lightweight things, I think we're going to stick this here. I want it to be lightweight for that purpose. Scroll up just a little bit. Then we will add, we can add these things. So let's do 8 of these. TD-18 engine plate. Quad. 4 Valiants. And to make sure that this is a trick that I saw someone else do for the old series that I was going to try and do with the community space program, where they built this. They did this in order to make it so that way their rocket was, so they could add some of these to it. That's just some structural supports right there. And extra fuel at the same time. And it's a cool looking design. I'm going to push it in just a little bit. There we go. So I still got that structural. And what we'll do, we'll get this here. I wish we could get these in white. I don't want to. So I'm going to take that, put it right there, like that. I'll get it right here. There we go. Look at that. Thrust to weight ratio is good. Last thing we need to add. Launch support. I'll give us this last one right here. We're going to disable staging. Got to decouple here. Fire this engine. Then we'll jettison the fairing, which I'm actually going to set to clamshell deploy. Fairing will deploy. That'll deploy. So once the fairing deploys in space, we'll deploy the solar panels. Actually, let's set up the action groups for that command. Action group 1, extend solar panels. Literally just extend the stuff. Okay. Let's add some decals to it. I don't know why it's doing this. Let's get some logos on to main stage here. And let's set up a mission flag for it. I tried to design my own flag, but I really need to. I want to design my own flag. Oh, this is a collect science mission. Alrighty. I think we're good to go. All we need now is a plan. There's a name for it. How about the I hate fireworks now? Well, we could always go with Luna 1. Let's go with well, that'll be the nickname for the program, Muna. The Muna program. Yeah, let's just go Muna. This is the Muna program. And we'll do the MUN Science Research Lander. That's the official name. MSRL. MSRL. Alrighty. This will be the full test of the landing software that we have. Goal is to land in the let's go with the near side Midlands. Near side Midlands is where we hope to land. If that's not, but our goal is really just to get on the surface. should be an easy goal. Really easy. Now my phone has died, so I can't see anything in chat. I can actually come and check just really fast while we're loading here. How we doing? Still nobody in chat. I wish I could see it from my game, but I do not have. This is the situation where we use launch.ks. Always end it with a period. Enter. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Hey, it's still here. Look at that. Got some phantom. It's trying to rotate itself into the axes of control. That's a failure. Okay. Let's shut that down. Shut it down. Come on. Okay. Okay. We're just going to recover this. We'll put that in a museum about the Kerbal Space Program. About our little program here. That's great. Perfect. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Wonderful. Just what I wanted to have happen in my program. To have just what I've always wanted was a failure at launch. It's alright. We still have loads of money. They're cheap. We just keep throwing them at the moon until we get a successful landing. This thing will be able to land. That's one of the things I like about Kerbalism. And it's really good for KSP streamers. Is these are failures that are kind of organic. They just happen. Do you want to prevent them? Sure, you can increase the reliability of your rockets, but it costs more. And early space programs like what I've got right now can't really afford to do that because it's expensive. It's expensive to even launch them. Sorry, I had to plug my phone in. Okay. So we're going to do that again. 0:/launch KS. There we go. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. it'll be again. It's tidally locked, so it'll kind of rotate it so that way the stuff back here is all lit, and that is kind of no good for a landing, especially one of a probe where we need to be able to. I mean, we've got this one. We've got this one sitting right here, except I think its high orbit area is in an area where we won't be able to access it during, we might be able to, no, we might be able to get signal. And I don't think any of the transmitters on the Dart actually will be able to work will actually give us a bounce off point. We've got to have a direct connection with the Space Center, with Kirby. That's on me. That really is. Poor timing on this launch. We could always wait it out, but I really would rather not. What I think we'll do is we'll put ourselves into a high orbit of Mun, or at least an orbit with a really high apoapsis. So that way, every time we swing around, we'll plan our landing site around wherever we end up there. This is a good flight here. We haven't got a whole lot of fuel left in this stage, but we don't need all that much to get into. Beautiful deploy. Deploy the solar panels and that antenna. Beautiful. Absolutely wonderful. Ignition of the main engine. Those are going to fall away from us now. Goodbye. Thank you for protecting us, but we don't need you anymore. Toxic boyfriend, we're going to ditch you once we're done using you. Your airstream protectors, your fairings, not people. Okay. Now, okay, so I always seem to do this where I've got it just in the wrong area. So I need to plan this stuff out a lot better. We need to actually start planning our missions. After this one, any mission to the Mun is going to be planned out a little better. We're going to go towards, okay. Road, yes. So we're gonna get most of this burn done with this engine. We'll get the rest of it done with the main engine, with the final engine, and then after that, it'll be all about getting to. So this engine right here is going to be doing the remainder of it. So we have 20 ignitions on that one. We've got 18 left on this one. So by the end of that next one, but hopefully by the time we land, we'll have more than 15 ignitions, because it shouldn't take more than really 3 or 4 to get it where we need to be. But we might have a couple of margins of errors, a couple of adjustment burns to make before we are able to get ourselves the orbit that we need. But yeah, this is working out. This is working out pretty good. Fire that engine. fire the engine. You're not in time warp at all. Why aren't you? This thing decides when it's going to fire the engine on its own. I don't know. I'm never 100% sure the time variables that are set in the burn indicator about how it decides when to burn and when to not. I'm under the impression we started when the start burn. That's probably it. I've had that thing set at 70% this whole time. I'm not looking for 70%. I'm looking for 50%. Why was that the default? That doesn't make any sense to me. Oh well. It doesn't matter. This thing is going to have way more power than I thought it was going to be. Oh yeah. I mean, it is very unreliable when it comes down to in the vehicle assembly building to what it's actually going to be. Once you get it into flight. I'm trying to get Kerbal Engineer on here so that way I get more accurate readings on that stuff, but I'm never 100% sure how to use that kind of thing. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Alright, full burn complete. A little closer, but that might be better. Let's go for that one. So anyway, we're going to actually time warp ourselves into the sphere of influence of the Mun. The nice thing is we don't need to worry about where this thing is pointing now. Yeah, see? This area right here is going to be where we're going to probably try and land. Because it's going to be... That'll probably be good. Let's prepare everything. Everything's prepared. I don't know why it's freaking out like this, but it is. Is it dead? No, it's not dead. Why are you? Okay, it's being gently lining itself up. How much electric charge we got? We got 607 electric charge. This thing don't have an alternator. We got 19 ignitions left. That is 19 points of failure. Not an exciting thing to think about, but 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right. We're in orbit. And we're stable with what we wanted. That might be a good spot to land there. It'll eventually get in there. Let's do one complete orbit, make sure we're good. One is the focus, so let's do one complete orbit. We are zipping on in real low here. Run path. 2, /landing KS. So we've got, that's a good place to land. Let's see how this is looking. There's the sun rising. How low are we? Ooh, we're good. We're good. We're good. Radar altitude has us at about 5 kilometers out above the surface. This thing should be able to do what it needs to do. So let's right about, let's send it over. Yeah, we got enough power to land. We're going to be going for it on dark side. Okay, it's beginning its burn. We are below 5 kilometers on this one. We're in a deorbit burn phase. Let's turn the lights on. Navigation lights are on. Okay. So I think this thing should automatically extend my landing gear, but I'm not 100% sure. We're going to wait to see what happens. Suborbital space flight of the Mun. I should have pointed those lights down. They're not really being useful pointing up at the solar panels. My intention with these, I think I can still change it. Change it to red. My intention with these is I want them to kind of, if we end up returning to this point at some point with a crewed flight, I want to be able to see where this is at, even at night. So that's what the flashing lights are there for. I know they're not really doing nothing there, but let's see. How far can we see? Can't really see the lights. We'll see them when we get closer, but they're kind of just like a marking to let them know, to let Kerbals know, hey, something's over here, something important amongst the batteries, the green lights, and everything. Oh, there's the landing gear. 600 meters above the surface. I have no idea what our surface, what the surface looks like. We could be landing in a crater on the side of a cliff. It could be bad, it could be good, who knows? We'll find out when we get there. We could probably get back into orbit with the amount of fuel we've got here. Let's activate our experiments. Ooh, that's a good, that's bit of a rock. It tried to rewrite itself. I just wanted to sit on the surface there, right there, like that. There we go. Let's see what data we get out of this. Geiger counter, we got our temperature scan, got a radiation scan, and a telemetry report. Yeah, we landed on the side of a cliff. There it goes. We were able to remain stable long enough. That's what we get. Ooh, a double crater. Double crater. That's cool. That's cool. We got our science though. That was the goal. Got the science we needed from it. So let's actually head and see what we got out of that. See what we can get next. Because you don't really need to do missions. I mean, they're helpful in the early game with like part testing and stuff. But once you actually start achieving certain things, then it's kind of just like, oh, just. Alright, so we got 51. Our next goal is basic science. I'm going to research that. And we got mystery goo. We have we finally have our ScanSat parts, high gain antenna, and mystery goo capacity upgrade. Ooh, we get more science and an experiment return unit that we can use. Okay. Next up on the list of things we gotta do. Oops, that really turns fast. It's 40% now. Okay, so next things we need to do. Yeah, let's keep doing what we're doing with the science. I think we should probably gather science around Kerbin. I think I'd really like to go out and search for some of these new. You know what? We can use the ScanSats. We can build a ScanSat. That'll get us the polar orbit missions done. So you know what? Let me do something really fast. Subassemblies. Light, satellite, launch vehicle. Let's come up with a clever name for this. This was the Muna mission, Muna program. Let's go. We've got the Raptor name system for the aircraft. Let's stick with the animal naming schemes. Our lift vehicles are going to be named after what should I name them after? Something that lifts heavy things. Heavy lifting things. Ants. Let's name them after ant species. It might not make sense now, but you know, ants can lift really big things. No, not ants. Let's not do ants. Really want to find a naming scheme that'll work really well for this. We can name it after. I want to stick with animals. Animal names. What's the name of a really? Yeah, let's do ants. Let's do ants, and we'll do the species. Let's go with the black garden ant as the first one. This is Elaceus 1. No, let's go with the amount of engines it has. 4. Elaceus 4. Which is a low light curving, a light launch vehicle. Elaceus 4. Good name, good name. Alright. New. Save and continue. So first things we're going to do, we're going to design our satellite. So I am fond of doing one thing at a time. So we're going to have this right here. Like, we're going to have 2 of these on here like that. In order to make sure that it has enough power, we're going to have 2 of these. Because this thing, I'm going to make sure it has enough data capacity for it. Reaction wheel. I have high quality reaction wheels on this one. Okay. Also going to add this to it, and we're going to add 2 of these to it. The radar will work no matter what. Okay. We'll get that data from it. And we'll transmit it back. And then I think I'm going to need some receivers for it too. So these receivers here should work. We'll put it on the lower body for the, let's add the cruise stage. Let's just add that. This. Is this necessary? No, not really. But to be able to change orbits with this thing might be useful. You know what? For the sake of ease, let's do one of those. We'll get the radar data first, and then we'll get the visual data. Visual data, the biome data, all that stuff. Is there something that will track anomalies too, or is that something we gotta pick up later? It doesn't matter. Okay, so. That'll be the stage that kicks it into orbit. Now, because we don't want to have to build a whole new one, just get Elaceus. 1.24, 0.65 on the launch pad. Literally beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, and then what we're going to do is we're going to launch it from the Woomerang. So let's design. What should we name this satellite? Let's make sure that this is clamshell deployed. So what should we name this satellite? Something that's always observing from above, scanning from above. It's not really a spy satellite. It's kind kind of a data gathering thing, but still observing from above. It's kind of in that naming scheme idea area. We want to be talking about. We want to talk about what the observations we're making here. We really want to see. We want to talk about. We want to look at what are we observing? Well, we're observing Kerbin. How do we name it? What is... No, I'm not going to name it after that. We've got birds already. I think the payloads need to be named after something else. Argos. I think the Argos satellite, which will be nicknamed, which his real name will be low resolution Kerbin scanning satellite. All right, the LRKSS Argos. We'll be launching it from Woomerang. We'll launch our first one really fast. Oh, that felt good. Good pops. Good pops. Good pops. All right. Been at this coming up on 2.5 hours now. Still got no one commenting though. Kind of disappointed in that. Thought I'd have a few more people watching. That's okay. I'm here for as long as I need to be. Not really planning on going to bed till midnight, so I got another hour before I'm planning on stopping and going to bed. So let me know. Alright, welcome to the Woomerang launch facility. Beautiful mountains in the background. Reason I'm launching here is because this is at the moment, the furthest north launch facility I have access to. So I'd very much like to find the other ones, and that's the point of That's because with rocket designs, you really want something aerodynamic, but you know, it's not always possible because aerodynamics is hard. But I really like those little extra pieces. They kind of pop out like that. I've got another rocket I designed here that kind of took inspiration from the Atlas. Ooh, a little bit of a bump there from the. Okay, so we're getting. But you know, it's. I really like those kind of features, and they're really difficult to do in a model rocket, even though they are so cool. So let's start with our radar scan. We're going to get started on that right away, even though we'll be burning. It'll be safe to start it. Now I'm questioning if I want to do multiple launches of this, or just the one, and let it sit like this for a little while. Okay. Our next goal . Alright, that'll work. Run path 0/exe mode.ks. Okay. It'll be a bit of a longer burn, but I think we'll be okay. I think the biggest issue we're going to have, I'm going to actually open up a smaller one. This is our science data right here. Okay. 30 seconds till burn time. Howdy, welcome to the stream. How you doing today? Almost 4th of July. I'm honestly not a big fan of the holiday. I'm just not a big fan of fireworks, so I don't enjoy the amount of explosions that we have for the 4th. So it's not exactly in the ideal range. We're going to really cut it close in terms of fuel margins. I could probably bring us down to 2 ideal range. It's still ideal. 70 kilometers is better, but we'll be all right here. Uses 1 electric charge a second. More than that. So we're now producing 1.64 electric charge a second. We got 2 of them. part of the burn. So we have this tiny thing. And we use most of its fuel just to get there. This is a hell of a detour. Howdy, do you want me to show you my model rockets while we watch this spacecraft put itself in the orbit that I wanted it to be in? Whoa, what's up with our periapses? That is definitely not what I wanted that to do. At least it's getting back up there, but wow, that I did not notice that. That is it's a good thing we'll be done. We'll be out of that way. Hopefully. Yee. You're killing me, Smalls. All right. We're in a safe area where if the engine were to fail, that'd be fine. It wasn't ideal, but we're fine. We're good. Yeah, we completed that contract. Look at that. And we're still getting our planetary science data. That's cool. That's cool. We're still getting our scan data. Our low altimeter scan is going to be finished soon. And God, am I tired of these fireworks. Oh, you sit here. You have me do this forever. Almost done. I'm sorry that this is taking so long. I need to really find other things to talk about. Oh, I can talk about this. This is a little gold-plated space shuttle that I've got. I got this actually when I met Clayton Anderson the second time. The second time I've ever really met him. It's a really fun time. He's a fun guy. I like him. He's a bit of he's kind of funny, and I like meeting him. He's honestly he's just my hometown hero, kind of, because he's from Nebraska, from Ashland, Nebraska, and so I really kind of just I admire him for that. Not really for coming from Nebraska, but both from being from Nebraska and being an astronaut is kind of something that I can, because he's the only one from Nebraska who's ever been he's the only Nebraskan who's ever become an astronaut, and I hope to follow in his footsteps. So I've kind of latched onto that I'm like, when I do become an astronaut, so far everything looks like it. I will be Nebraska's second astronaut, which is a really cool thing to think about. Like only two, and we do have the right stuff. We can do it. I can do it. It's not that it's not hard. It's just that Nebraskans are capable, and I mean no one's ever questioned the fact that Nebraskans aren't capable of spaceflight. It's that there isn't a lot of Nebraskans actually flying. There are no Nebraskans flying into space at this moment. So it's kind of. Ooh, there's an eclipse of the moon right there. So it's kind of that thing. Just as a big deal is like the fact that no other Nebraskans have. Okay, the scanner's halted. We're constantly transmitting our data from it, but we're gonna get all of it. And no storage left. Ooh, is it really done? What else does it have to scan? I'll keep going. You know what? Let's take a look at it from this perspective. Still 99.9%. And I mean, there have been a lot of Nebraskans that have been involved in the space program, but just not a lot that have flown into space. And you know, that's what I want to do, and that's something that I'm interested in. Then I'd really like to see people that snap, if I upgrade that, then I get the temperature scan in there. Just want it to finish. I don't know where the area is that it hasn't scanned yet. Let's get it to 60 days, 2 months in space, and then we'll take a break from this. What did we get out of that? Oh, we got 44.4 science. Cool. Cool. All right. I think our next goal, I think that's good enough. That's good enough. We got 44 science out of that. We just need 0.6 more, but I think the next thing that we want to do is we want to take this, and I think we might just be able to, I think we might have enough if we edit it just a little bit, use the system that we use for landing our system on the moon. We might be able to get this thing into orbit around the Mun. And that'll be really cool. So we'll have scan data from the Mun. We'll get some scan data from the Mun. And all of that. Let's see if we can get scan set official. Yeah. Let's get radar altimetry from the Mun and ScanSat multispectrum survey of the Mun. Okay, so there's the ScanSat data that we want. Career evolution, satellites. Geostationary satellite. We'll do that one next too. All right. So let's get in here. Let's edit that rocket for the ScanSat, for the Argos. Argos 2 will be the next one, which will be to we'll put it into orbit around Mun. And yeah. So in order to get it into orbit around Mun, probably get it into orbit around Mun. That's what we'll do there. 26, 1052. That'll basically do nothing. Hopefully that'll be enough. This is an incredibly light satellite here. So, oh my god. So, we're going to launch from the standard launch site this time in order to make certain that we get everything going good. I'm going to look on Twitter really fast, see what's going on there. But anyway, yeah, I don't even know what I was talking about. I'm just going off on the tangents and rants because I got nothing else to talk about. Nothing else. All right. Anyway. Kerbal. Let's go to the Mun. That is really making me mad. Okay, counting down 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. kicking them up there. I'm kind of liking it. I'm liking it a lot. We're making really good progress. It's efficient. It's cheap. It works really well. We're gonna stick with the Lossius launch vehicle design, and we'll move on from there once we get some better materials. But yeah, this is I'm liking it so far. I really like it. I hope you guys like it too, just because it looks really cool. I think we're gonna stick with this kind of design philosophy, even when we don't really need to. Larger rockets are gonna still have these kind of jutting out fuel sections. I'm not 100% sure what those would actually be used for, but I think they're really, really cool. Let's make sure everything is deployed. The satellite here itself is a really, really good satellite too. It works surprisingly well. I think what we have accomplished here with this is pretty admirable. Pretty admirable with what we've accomplished with what limited resources that we've got. I think this is one of the things that I really like about Kerbal Space Program is the ability to really design some really cool and interesting things. And even though a lot of people will fall into the same kind of the same sort of techniques as each other is the word I'm going to use. I'm going to use techniques. Everything still has its own design language, its own design philosophy, and I really like that. Now, the one thing I want to do is not that. I really don't want to do that. So let's see if we can get this thing into. So the ideal attitude we want to get this thing into. Yeah, we're not going to be able to do it like that. We're going to exit out of that. Go back here. No, we don't want to do that. Okay. Very admirable what we've accomplished here. Very, very cool, very, very interesting things. And we're getting a lot of really good data out of all of this too. It's gonna... Honestly, a lot of this stuff is probably like... We should probably comb through some of that ScanSat data, or at least try and find a way to... I'd really still like to find those other launch sites. Because the other launch sites, I want to be able to take off from more places. I want to be able to kind of plan my missions out better towards those kind of things. Now would have been a really good time to launch for a landing flight, but I suppose, you know, you live and you learn. You figure everything out. We're learning as we go, you know. I've been playing this game for 10 years since it came out. Or at least since 2012. I've been playing since 2012, around 9 years. I wasn't here for the very, very beginning, but I was here for the beginning of the game, before the alpha, well, kind of in the alpha, but into the beta and the official launch of everything. So I'm not gonna say I've been here since the beginning. I'm not gonna go out there and say I built this company. You know, I've been playing this game for a long time. I've kind of gotten into these little habits, and I'm still very obviously learning as I go with this. And you know, you learn a lot when you play games like this. I've learned a lot. I think one of my favorite experiences has been the amount of things that I've learned from doing research for geology and KSP has been one of my greater experiences, and I'd like to continue that. And that's why I'm trying to really get into it. And I'm using these live stream sessions to really try and focus in on getting just developing these ideas and talking about it, trying to apply what I've learned from everything else. And so I could probably Okay, so let's see what results we have from that. 8 kilometers. That is not ideal, but we're going... Oh, son of a... No, don't do... Why did you change like that? No. I'm going to do a quick cheat here and try and get closer. Why did you do that? Why? What was the point? What was the purpose? What was the purpose? I thought they fixed that a long time ago, but apparently they haven't. Oh, Jesus. Okay. So our new system we need to add a maneuver here. We need to get into another polar orbit around the Mun. So we need to... I'd like to go south in and south. South till we get, and it needs to be up at about 70 kilometers. 60, 70, there we go. Next we'll run path 0:/ execute node.ks. Just go to the node. Hopefully, and I'm trying to test. I'm using these streams as also a way for me to test, because I want to get back into doing the system where I'm going to do stuff like where the stuff where like if you look down my channel, I've got I have a stream from another stream, a different stream. I did it on Twitch, but it was a no time warped live stream, flight to the Mun, landing, returning to Kerbin. It was a lot of fun, IVA only, just stuff like that. And I want to do that again. That was a lot of fun. That's about 36 hours. It's a good weekend. It'll be incredibly rare, maybe like once every few months, but I'd like to do more of those again. In streams like these, I'd like to be like, hey, here's the training that we're gonna do for these missions. And that'll be really cool. I think that'll be really cool to watch, really cool to it'll be really enjoyable for people. Alright, so we got there, and now we need to get into orbit. There we go. run path 0:/node.ks. Okay. This will be the final maneuver, and then we will begin the scan of the MUN. This is actually a really good position because, at least in this point right now, while we're here, we'll be able to there it is. 14. Okay, 1-0 ignition. No failures at all. That's awesome. Alrighty, ditching that. Starting up the radar scanner first. We're going to pull this up here. Alrighty, there we go. Really need to get more storage on these things, but I think we should be good. More science. We're going to get the ScanSat data out of these. %. Let's hope we don't get another 99.9%. I don't like that. I don't like the 0.9%. 99.9. There's a radio station from my hometown. It's 99.9. That's its radio station number is 99.9. They listen to mostly classic rock and everything. Alright, radar scan data, good. Beginning multi-spectrum data. Alrighty. Last bits, here we come. Yep, here we are. Oh, no, we don't want to do that. Got another contract completed. Got all that data sent. Let's head on back. I'm getting so sick. I'm getting so sick of these fireworks. Oh my god. Having explosions go off above my head like this is not a comfortable thing to experience for me. I really like non-explosions, and I don't know, call me unpatriotic, but I really feel like the celebration of the birth of the United States should be done with some other method than literally blowing up money. Okay. Got that out of my system. Next thing we're going to get this thing. And we need just a little more You know what? Let's get these custom fuel tanks. Now we could get small reentry pods. That is a possibility, but I'm not going to. I really don't like the circular modules on here. We've got heat shields here. I really just want, I like these. These work really well for me, and these will work really well too. So we're going to, and these will get me scrubbers. Scrubbers are very important. I love my girlfriend. She is so nice. Sorry, texting my girlfriend. I have a girlfriend. That is so nice to know. This will be nice because then it'll get us a way to tractor solar panels, larger things, more lights, high capacity upgrade. Then we'll be able to build space stations. But first, we just need to be able to get into space. Just need to be able to get in. So we need 40 more science for that. I think I know just how we're going to do that for the last 20 minutes of our day. To the spaceplane hangar. We are going to get our boy Bob some experience. My man Bob here is a scientist. And his job is going to take this in Science Junior. These. I'm going to take 2 of these mystery goo things. Don't really want to go very far, just kind of want to get around. We're going to redesign our supersonic aircraft too with this one. This time we're going to put 2 of these in front, like that. One of these towards the rear. Right there, like that. There's a couple. These. Jeez, if you want to do it like that. Once again, we get the small hard points. Where's those at? Structural point, small hard point. Wide base. Then, do these here. Right there. Of 4 slots. There we go. This should work pretty well, I think. So let's call it the Kestrel. Kestrel. Since Raptors are the birds we're naming our science aircraft after, I think Kestrel will do nicely. We'll have our man Bob here. We'll take him out in this suit. I like this suit for pilots. That'll be good. think something else we want to do here really fast. I think we should keep that there. And then also what we need to do. So we'll fly the Kestrel in a minute. I think what we need to do, yep, we need to upgrade that so we can make sure that they're able to can we upgrade, how much? No, that's 451. Okay, so let's get the Kestrel out. Bob, you ready for this? So Bob, your job here today is, simply put, gather the scientific data. We need to gather as much of this. Now, the one thing that we're gonna struggle with here is the fact that we don't have SAS control on this thing at all. We're not gonna have SAS. We're gonna only have I mean, we only really need 40 science, but I'm not sure how much we're going to be able to get from everything here. So we're going to try our best here. Get rid of that. Crew report is already done. Start mystery goo. Start our material science. That's 20. No, that's just 5. Wait, we ran out of electricity? How much electricity does this thing have? Damn it. Cover it. Ugh. Okay. Let's have some extra. I'm not going to have enough time. I got 15 minutes before the stream ends. Alright. I was expecting the building of the goddamn airplane to take like seconds, I guess. This is my stupid head. Needs more electric power. Like that. Add a couple of solar panels up on the top here. Okay. Okay. We've got it this time. We'll time warp till sunrise. Bob, you're sleeping in there. We'll start with the material study though. We'll do one at a time. What? Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Kerman stepping out to take that data. Take that data. Is he able to, I thought, are you able to fix this? Come on. Seal it. Clean the experiment. What's the point of you? Take your helmet off. You blonde idiot. Snap. You idiot. How do you even do that? Get you not a pilot. Come on. Okay. Okay. Little distracted. It's all good. It's all good. Almost done. Need 30 more science and then we'll be set. So we'll have the Kestrel come back out again. We don't really need Bob if you can't really clean the experiments anyway. We'll keep looking. Cover that Kestrel. Get all the science from it. And we'll take off for the first maiden test flight of Kestrel. And then I'm going to bed. I'm glad that these aren't. Oh. Okay. Setting everything up. Throttle test, roll. Okay, really fast. These are pitch. These are roll. This is yaw. And to make things a little better, torque off. Alright, engine firing, throttle to full. It's on. Okay. Level ourselves out about here. About 10 kilometers, that's about 30,000 feet. Let's level it off. Fix that. I don't know. Okay, now our goal is just to get this done. Probably spend a little bit more time. Okay. Something else that I've taken into as part of one of the hobbies that I do sometimes is I've done model aviation, which is a lot of fun. It's not hard to get into at all. Channel that I'd recommend on YouTube if you're really interested in model aviation is I'd go and I'd watch flight tests. They're a lot of fun. They do a lot of crazy stuff with it, and I can't really watch their entire videos most of the time, but I do watch a lot of them. They get real crazy with some of their designs and other things, and so. Yeah, they're really good at what they do. And we got far falls. Look at that. Let's pull it down. But yeah, like they do some really crazy stuff, really fun stuff too. One of their recent videos was them flying B-51 versus an ME-262, where they put a firework into the wing of an aircraft to blow it up. And now that's a good use of the firework. Granted, dangerous, and I wouldn't recommend anybody ever do that. But you know, that's something fun, cool, interesting. There's more planned. See if we can find. Oh yeah, I landed something there. It's still there. Let's just use this as an opportunity to try and see if we can't find another place to land here. We know of the island runway. There's apparently a bunch more on the surface. I've never seen them. Even the one that Matt Lown found originally. I'd love to look it up, but I really just want to find it organically myself. And it's difficult too because I'm usually flying super high and I've never really needed to use them. Feels like full now. Continue going. I'm just in the general area where it is. Here's the This is interesting. site that has a runway is the dessert launch field. Kind of stupid. I kind of want more runway. But anyway. Oh boy. Okay. I guess the next thing that we can do here is I can find place to set down. That's probably far enough. Anyway, I think I'm going to end my stream here. Once I get on the deck, we'll be kind of calling it a night. I hope you all had a good time. Those of you who showed up. I'm going to try and do this on a weekly basis every Saturday. Every Saturday evening. I'll probably have the Saturdays off from now on. We'll do Saturday evening streams at around 8:30 p.m. till midnight. About 3.5 hours. A good amount of time to get a lot done. We got a lot done today. A lot further along in our further space program in this career save than I thought we would be. Once again, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the stream, let me know. Subscribe if you want to see more. If you want to see videos like this. Once again, I keep procrastinating it, but I am working on my next video, next big project, which is designing spacecraft for pilots, and it's coming along great. I've got the script done, got a lot of the research done. I need to put in the effort to actually record it, get the audio recorded, all of that. So when we return next time on Ben Plays Kerbal Space Program, we'll unlock crewed spaceflight vehicles, and we will fly to space then.